everyone, Tina here. Today's class is going to be a nice short flow, so about 30 minutes, a nice total body warm up and stretch. If you have a strap or an old towel or a thin t-shirt, you can definitely use that. We are going to work on extending the legs straight out, but if you don't have a prop, you can definitely still do the class. We're going to get started standing on your mat, so let's hop to it. Come to the top portion of your mat, bring the toe mounds in towards touch and a little space at the heels so that the hips are working neutral, the thigh bones interneutral as well. Hands are going to rest at heart center. Bring the forearms parallel to the mat, so you're really pressing the palms against each other. We're going to warm up with the breath and 2 sun salutes. So eyes can close. Take a few breaths in, a few breaths out. You might sigh your exhales. Just allow yourself these first few moments at the very beginning of class to step away from whatever you were just doing in your day. Take another full breath in and out. And we'll start with a sun A. So your next inhale, the arms sweep up, the gaze will now lift. And exhale to take your first forward fold. Focus on grounding the palms all the way down to the mat. The knees can definitely bend. These forward folds are less about the stretch behind the legs, especially this early in class. Take your next inhale to step each foot all the way back, high plank pose. And then exhale, we'll take our first low plank. So glide forward a bit, bend the elbows, keep the body off the mat, and then tuck the toes down, heart forward, upward face, downward facing dog. Exhale. We'll stay here for an extended period of breaths to really get into the backs of the legs, to move around in the body. And then settle in. Take a moment to lift the heels. Bend the knees deeply and press the belly towards the thighs. And you're really pressing the hands away from you. So you have a nice long back pounce pose. Take a look forward and then you can spring forward or take a step, feet to touch again. Exhale to release the head fold. Sweep all the way up on the breath in. And then exhale, hands heart center. One more, warming up, inhale, sweep, and exhale, dive down. Opposite leg steps back first, high plank pose, and the exhale to low plank. Upward face again, breath in, and downward facing dog, exhale. Settling into this down dog, the fingers are spread nice and wide. Try to see if you're shrugging the shoulders and the ears are really close to the shoulders, and then let the head really fall as the shoulders press down the spine. Now let's take that right leg in the air, 3-legged dog. Notice all 5 toes are facing down towards the mat, so the hips are as square as you can get them. Then take those 5 toes, tap them down, even the pinky toe is touching, and then straight back up, so nice straight leg. Now, keep the hips high, but bend the knee and try to tap the knee towards the nose. You're still in down dog though. With the breath, inhale, kick that leg back. Exhale, tap all 5 toes down. Inhale, pick back up. And exhale, knee towards nose. One more, inhale, straighten. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, pick up. And exhale, knee towards nose, pause. Now we're going to lift that back heel up, take a glide forward, and then launch that right foot down. So you want that foot inside your thumb. You can drag it up if it didn't make it all the way. Scooch the back heel back, bend into your front knee, and take it all the way up, high lunge. Soften the shoulders down, but extend the fingertips high. And then let's drop that back heel to come into your warrior 2. So now the arms are reaching towards front and back of mat. Try not to lean forward in your warrior two. You want the shoulders directly over the hips. Inhale now to straighten that front leg and the palms touch overhead. Use a full exhale to return to that warrior two. Inhale, straighten up, and exhale, two. One more, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, reach up. Let's bring the arms wide, but keep those legs straight, thumbs up to the ceiling. Now glide over that front leg and allow the arms to reach up and down, triangle pose. Now we have a pretty long stance here in your triangle pose, so think about staying pretty upright. Reach those left fingertips towards the ceiling. Come all the way back up and rest the hands at the hips. Right toes will dial in. Set the feet parallel, heart up, inhale. Exhale, take a lean out, and let's have the hands come down to the mat. So press the mat away from you, find long arms. If this is your pose, stay here, gaze underneath you. If you've got a little bit more length in the hamstring, you might be able to walk the hands closer towards the feet, maybe towards the insides of the feet. Walk back out to straight arms. Let's keep that right hand under your face, left hand to the small of the back, and take a twist open towards the back of your mat. A different option for this left arm, you can keep it exactly as it is, or you half basket that hand behind the head. Now, ideally, when we straighten that arm, the shoulders are stacked. If you have a really tight shoulder, as you can see here with me, my elbow is not able to point straight up towards the ceiling, and that's fine. Now straighten that arm, tap that left hand down, keep the legs as they are, but now let's walk over towards that right foot. So you're getting a nice stretch along the left side. Once again, the head is heavy, gaze underneath. Lift up a bit. Now continue walking towards the front end of your mat. Right knee will bend and you're on the ball of that back foot, runner's lunge, then drop that left knee down so you're in your low lunge. Right knee stays over that right ankle. Let's walk the elbows up to that right thigh and take a moment to sink into the hips. Well, let's allow the arms to go wide. Thumbs are going to spin the palms up towards the ceiling. Press those thumbs behind you as you lift your heart higher. And then as you come back to center, place the hands inside the right foot. Tuck those left toes under and lift that knee. Now the left heel falls down to center, so it's like that warrior two foot. Lift the left arm up, so we're in a very low side angle pose. Press the front foot down and rise up to your warrior two. Hands at hips and re-straighten that front leg. Back foot is going to take a step forward, and those toes are now going to walk in to face the left corner of the mat. Hips are once again facing forward. Let the arms go wide and then take the elbows behind you. Breath in to lift. Take a little turn to the right and now fold over your right leg. Your spine is long here, so if you are parallel to the mat, you're looking down at about your big toe. If you're a little further, you might be looking more underneath you. Use the inhale to come up just about halfway. And let's bring that left hand down. Now, if you've got your block here or something to bring the floor a little higher, you can tent down on that. Right hand is going to rest on the small of the back and that right shoulder opening, elbow up towards the ceiling. Take a twist to the right. Here's your revolved triangle pose. Now this is a pretty deep stretch, so listen to your body. You might stay here, you might even have a little bend into that front knee. Some folks might be able to extend that right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Again, just listen to what your pose is today. Let's all return that right hand to hip. Look down, a little bend into that front knee, left hand to hip. Come all the way up to standing and take a step forward. Return to the top end of your mat. A breath in to sweep the arms up, and the exhale to take that fold. Keep alternating the foot that you step back with for your high plank, and exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Let's walk the hands backwards to the feet. Hands will come up to the hips and a nice flat back. So lead with your heart, come all the way up to standing. And then connect toe mounds and palms. So you're at the back end of your mat. We're going to take some balances to walk our way forward again. Starting with tree pose. So take a hold of that right shin. Open the knee towards the right. The foot can go above the knee or below the knee. Just do not press that foot right against the side of your knee. And then hands can find heart center. Option to take it further by extending the arms up overhead. Now let's all return hands to hips. Extend this right leg forward, give the ankle a spin, and then step about halfway up your mat and bring the top of the left foot down behind you. Now that left hand is going to stay at your hip. Keep drawing that hip forward. Right arm is going to reach up overhead. So I'm trying to press this right arm back so that I can't even see it in my gaze. Lean into that right foot and float that left leg. So we're nice and tall. Lift up and lift back. And then on the exhale, let's try to tap knee towards the elbow. The inhale to extend, press up and back. And exhale to crunch. One more, inhale and exhale. Inhale to extend and then lower foot and hand. So you're now about middle way up your mat. We're going to take a hold of this right leg again. So just like that tree pose, take a hold of your shin. Some folks might be able to take your peace fingers and loop around that right big toe. You don't want the knee splaying out towards the side. Keep it in line. If you've got your strap or you've got your towel, that's where you're going underneath that foot now. We'll all work on extending through that right leg. No matter what your variation looks like, draw back on that right shoulder and try not to lean back in the pose. Now listen up. Whatever you're working with, keep the leg where it is. 2 hands to your hip. Let's all extend that right leg and feel just how heavy it is. And drop it down. Give a pedal out of the feet. Use your next inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. And the exhale to take that forward fold. Step, step, high plank pose for your breath in. And then the exhale, low plank. Push up on the inhale and downward facing dog. Exhale. Let's take that to the other side. So we'll start by lifting your left leg in the air. Strong, straight leg. And all 5 toes angled down. So this helps to stretch more behind the right leg. If you open up the hip, you take more away from the stretch behind the leg. Now let's tap all 5 toes down. Watch the foot. Don't let it shift as you inhale it up. Now just crunch that knee towards the nose. Really tuck the chin under. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, straight up. Crunch on the exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. And exhale, crunch and pause. Now lift that back heel, bring the shoulders over the wrists, and float that left foot forward. Wiggle it up so that it's in line with that left thumb. Back toes back, and then take it all the way up, high lunge. High lunge will open out to your warrior 2, so that back heel down, back toes forward. Left knee over the left ankle, not beyond it. Gaze forward for breath. And then inhale, straighten that leg, arms up overhead. Exhale, glide out, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten up. And exhale, lower. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale up. Keep that left leg straight, but the arms go wide again. Thumbs face up. So we're going to lean out a little bit. Lean out as far as you can go. And then just windmill the arms up and down, triangle pose. Gaze can be down to the side or lifted, whatever works for your neck. And then use that inhale to come right back up. Hands to hips. Left toes in, so set the feet nice and parallel. And this time we're going to take B variation of your fold, so hands will stay at your hips. Take a breath in to lift, and then the exhale, fold. Hands stay at the hips, elbows and shoulders, instead of falling down, see if you can reach them up towards the ceiling. Look underneath you, and then make sure that the weight is within the whole foot. So make sure the weight is not just rested in your heels. Come up halfway. The palms return down. They're right underneath your shoulders. Now take the left hand centered under your face and the right palm to the small of your back. Take a turn towards the back of your mat and try to lift that shoulder higher. Now here's where we're going to take that variation. So you're basketing that hand behind your head and you're trying to peel the shoulder open. So it's much harder than with an extended arm. You might actually feel the true extension of your shoulder here. Then extend, lower down. Feet stay as they are. Walk the hands over towards that front foot now. Walk that right hand far away. Look underneath. Now we're going to continue walking all the way around and to the front of your mat. So the left toes reface forward and you can drop the right toes down. Now check in that the knee is over the ankle and then you can walk it up. Feel the hips going low and forward so you get a nice stretch along the front of your right hip. Adding on the back bend so the arms can go wide, palms are facing up, soften the shoulders though, and then reach the thumbs back and tilt the heart higher. Keep pressing the hips forward. As you come back to center, let's land those hands inside the left foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift that knee, and just drop that heel at center. So it's like a warrior 2 foot. Right arm picks up for a low side angle, and then use that leg strength to come all the way up, warrior 2. Hands to hips and straighten that front leg. Right foot takes a step in, and then the toes face forward. So right toes at about 1 o'clock. Arms go wide. Let's take the elbows behind you. Breath in to lift. Breath out, take a little turn as you fold over left leg. Now notice how I'm not letting the shoulders fall down towards the mat. If anything, you're rolling them back, trying to lift the shoulders towards the ceiling. Inhale to your halfway. Now let's have that left hand stay at the small of the back and the right hand down to block or all the way down to the mat. Let's take a turn over to the left, revolving the triangle. So it's a pretty deep hamstring stretch on the left side. You want the whole right foot grounded down. Now you're peeling the left shoulder open. You could lift that arm again towards the ceiling. Look down. Let's bring that left hand to the back. Soften that front knee. Right hand to the hip. Come all the way up to standing. And then we'll step forward. Right foot to meet that left foot. You can pedal it out and then connect at center. Taking a vinyasa, sweeping up on the inhale and folding forward on the exhale. Take that step back, breath in, and then the exhale to your low plank. Push back up, inhale, and downward facing dog, exhale. Let's walk the hands towards the feet. So we'll return to the back of your mat. Hands come up to your hips, and then that breath in all the way up to standing. And connect. So finding tree pose on the left side, you'll take a hold of your left shin. Knee opens to the left. Land the foot above or below that right leg. Above or below that right knee. Hands to heart center. Steady your balance. Option to sweep the arms up if you wanted to do that. Let's all bring hands to hips. Send that left knee forward, extend, circle, and land that foot about halfway. So now you can pick up the top of that right foot and drop it down to the mat. Right hand will stay at the hip, guiding it forward. Left arm sweeps up and try to extend it back. Lean into that left foot and float that straight right leg. So variation on dancer pose. Breath in to lift a little higher and a breath out to crunch, knee towards elbow. Inhale again to open and exhale to crunch. Last one, inhale and crunch. Inhale, extend, and then return center. Feel free to pedal that foot out. If you used a strap or a towel or an old t-shirt for hand to big toe pose on the left side, take that again. Otherwise, you can simply just hold your left shin or take that big toe bind and work on extending through that leg. Now pull that left shoulder back so shoulders are even. Really stand into that right foot. And then the fun part, let's all keep the leg lifted, hands to hips. You can all straighten that leg out. Keep breathing, don't lean back. And then lower it down, pedal it out. And take a step forward to the top of your mat. Use the inhale to reach up and the exhale to dive. Step, step, plank pose, Exhale, low plank. Upward face, breath in. Downward face, breath out. Let's look forward, come to sit. A couple of seated poses to end class. Let's bring the feet to touch out in front of you, bound angle pose. Hands behind you. Try to bump your hips as close as you can get comfortably towards the heels. Try to sit up tall, meaning the pelvis is rocking forward. The tailbone is not tucking under. That's when you get that kind of C curve to the spine when it's tucked under. So try to press the hips forward and then take a hold of the insides. And then take a hold of the inner arches. Breath in, crown of the head lifts, and the exhale, a simple chin tuck. Lift the chin, gather the knees into center, and then straighten through one leg at a time. Toe mounds in, little space at the heels. Active feet. Notice how my heels they lift up off of the mat as I press the heels forward and work the tops of my legs. Try to keep those heels lifted if you can, or just go back and forth. Try to hold them there. Sit up tall, breath in. Now I'm just going to lean forward until my legs say I can go no more. Then I slide my hands down and notice where they land today. So I'm not trying to round and reach myself further forward. I'm building strength in the legs and the back. Gaze is down. Use the inhale to sit upright. Plant the feet on the mat. Bump yourself to about halfway. Take a hold under the thighs. Let's rock back to a boat pose. So we're going to sink this boat pose. Arms can extend. Take a breath. Take 5 breaths, as many as you'd like, to slowly lower yourself down, passing through halfway, coming to a hover, and then all the way down to the mat. Replant the feet on the mat and now wrap the arms around the legs. So draw some circles on the hips. Go clockwise and then counter a few times. We're going to let the knees fall over towards the left. The left arm can stay on the legs, right arm can extend. You can stay here or you work on straightening through those legs and you might get a stretch along the outside of that right IT band. Gaze can drop towards the right. And then curl back into center. Take a little rock side to side. And then knees fall over to the right. Left arm out so you can keep these knees hugging in, or once again you might straighten the legs but gaze towards the left. Then come back to center. Wrap the arms around the legs. Curl the nose towards the knees. Take a deep breath in. And then an exhale to let it all go. So now would be time for your shavasana, where you can let yourself rest for a few moments. I'm going to let the video play for a few minutes so that another one doesn't start up while you're in your rest. So give yourself this time and this space to be still, to take some deep breaths, trying to let the day go. Let your mind be clear. Just breathe. Take a reawakening deep breath and some small movements in the hands and the feet. Stretch the arms behind you, point the toes forward. Then wrap up into a little tiny ball and lower onto your right side. Return to a comfortable seated position. You might even keep the eyes closed. Palms can press at heart center. So this is Anjali Mudra, a mutual sign of gratitude and honor and respect. Sit up as tall as you can. Reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Let's take a final virtual breath together. Inhale to fill up. And exhale, let it go. Thank you for sharing all of your energy. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks for tuning in, yogis. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm releasing a handful of classes a week, all different styles. You can also follow me on my Instagram or Facebook, Tina's Yoga Room. Have a lovely rest of the day.